Can you talk about embodiment as the key to healing and pleasure and lasting happiness?
Yes.
How can embodiment bring so much?
Yes. That's a great question. It is a big claim, isn't it? Well, embodiment is the key to healing for the reasons that I've talked about, and also maybe on the body-centered or body-informed counseling and coaching page video. But we know now, there's plenty of research that says that we don't really heal from trauma unless we're doing it from and in the body. Most of the research now says that, Bessel van der Kolk, who's very popular in this movement, will say it's not over until the body says it's over. So we store trauma and we store these painful experiences in the body. So our lasting healing means we have to get in the body to actually feel the truth of what's going on before we can do something with it. So that answers the healing part of the question. What was the other thing I said? Pleasure?
You said pleasure. And lasting happiness.
Yes.
That's what I'm eager to get
yes,
to.
Yes. So, pleasure. Yeah, I'm going to spend some time talking about pleasure because this wasn't something that I understood for a long time. I would hear, when I'd go to workshops and hear women who are leading women's movement workshops talk about pleasure, I kind of got it. But I don't think it was until recently that I understood what they were talking about. And humans are sexual beings, whether we want to be or not, whether we have some stuff around all that or not. We're sexual beings. But in this case, pleasure, I'm not just talking about sexual pleasure. And I'm not talking about surface sexual pleasure. And I'm not talking about just sexual pleasure because friction feels good and you get your rocks off. I'm talking about surrendering to this genius organism and allowing the healing force that's in me and it's in you and it's everything in nature to move through us in such a way that it moves clogged energy out of us. And when it does, it opens us to the goodness of that life force. It opens us to the bliss and the peace and the love and the well-being or the oneness or whatever you want to call it that is the basis of everything. And all religions, there are plenty of instances cited in Scripture, in Christianity, about dance and ecstasy and presenting oneself to God in ecstasy. So this is a cross-cultural human experience that when we surrender to this vehicle, that this vehicle is tied to the bigger mystery, and it will move us. And that's where the bliss and lasting happiness piece comes from. Because until you experience that, you're going to look for that bliss in all the wrong places. You're going to look for it in a cookie or a thing of ice cream or a bottle of wine or TJ Maxx or a shopping spree, whatever. You're going to look for it. Not you're going to look for it in a man, or you're going to look for it in another woman if you're a lesbian. So you're going to look for it outside of yourself. And that's what all we're about. We're always trying to get to something. We're always trying to get love, get well-being, where everything we do is driven by trying to feel good and avoid feeling bad. But we can't control all of that stuff that's out there and all of the stuff that happens. The older we get, the more we know there's so much that we can't control. The only thing that we can control is our willingness to surrender. And our willingness to surrender and trust something that's always looking to move through us and show us the way. and heal us and set things right and restore things to balance. So, you know, and I'll say this about the pleasure piece. A woman's ability to feel sexual pleasure depends on the degree to which she can surrender. There are lots of good reasons not to surrender. Again, if you have a history of feeling violated or controlled, surrender can feel like dying. I certainly understand that. My own personal history, there's been a place in me that I've had to spend years releasing that says if you let go, you're going to die. So it's not a small work. It's not to be taken lightly.